Sure enough, I go out there. There's a bunch of thugs all lined up. All I hear is jib jab going back and forth. And while I'm separating it, things are quiet, but then shot comes around my shoulder and cracks the main dude in the face.
Welcome to the channel. Smash that like button and subscribe right now, because what we're about to uncover is straight up insane. So check this. 50 Cent's own bodyguard is spilling all the secrets about what really went down with the Crips and why 50's been beefing with them ever since. It's not just some old street drama. There's talk of bribes, pressure moves, and people actually trying to run up on him like they forgot who they were dealing with. This man was already certified before the fame ever came his way.
I don't like gang stuff.
I am not gang. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm not gang.
I don't like gangs. I don't like conspiracy. I don't like the word Rico. Like none of that. So you see the young boys say, you ain't got no body.
For those who know, he was called Boo Boo in the streets. And yeah, folks knew not to play with him even back then. Now here's where it gets wild. 50 Cent has never claimed to be in a gang. He said it loud and clear over and over again. And honestly, it adds up. When artists roll into certain hoods, they're usually expected to cough up cash for protection. It's like paying rent to the local crews. But 50? Nah, he don't bow to nobody like that.
History and I'll beef with 50 Cent. All I hear is say, well, if niggas try to get me shot, or niggas has something to do with getting me shot, or niggas did this and that.
And because 50 never played by the rules, he ended up clashing with some serious street bosses, people who actually had pull in the game. After one heated encounter, Spider Loc got so rattled, he didn't even try to hold his ground when drama hit G-Unit. The man just vanished from the scene, quiet. And let's be real, he always made it clear from the jump, I am not gang. Here's what's wild. 50 Cent has zero official gang ties. Yeah, he grew up in the trenches, but he always moved solo, on his own code. He didn't need a flag to earn respect. He built G-Unit from scratch, went head to head with big name gangs, and still stood tall every time.
When did the relationship start to go south with 50?
You know, I was tolerating a lot of undesired energy.
Right.
No cap. Back when he was just 19, he got caught up, tried to make fast money, and ended up selling to an undercover. Cops raided and found Snow and a piece at his spot. That was a major reality check. That moment right there, that's when 50 knew he had to level up and leave the street hustle behind. But Spider Loc, he was deep in it, fully repping the Crips, and even tried to flip G-Unit into some kind of side movement. At first, 50 and the whole G-Unit crew tried to ride with Spider Loc out of loyalty.
Like, he ran through the lobby, me and Ja chased him through the lobby, and then the elevator doors just like closed just in time. But that's a whole nother story, you know what I mean?
They even let him bring 100 Crips on stage during shows. But that move, it came with major baggage. One concert had to be shut down completely because the crowd was packed with Bloods. Straight tension in the air. You already know that mix don't end well. And it wasn't just the live shows either. Spider Loc's music video shoots started turning into war zones. Rival sets were pulling up and bullets were flying. It got real dangerous real quick. Eventually 50 had to make the call. He saw the gang stuff was messing with the money and the brand. So he did what bosses do. He cut Spider Loc loose, no looking back. One thing about 50, he don't fold for nobody. Not even the heavyweights like Suge Knight. You remember when Suge tried to check him early in his career?
To who? Smurf?
Smurf, yeah.
Yeah, look. That's my baby. You understand what I'm saying? Smurf is my baby boy.
50 didn't flinch. He stood firm and still pulled up to the In Da Club video shoot, even though Suge was out here trying to scare him off. That's pressure most people would have ran from, but not 50. But let's be clear, Spider Loc ain't the only one who's had serious issues with 50. Over the years, 50 has clashed with some of the most dangerous and powerful names in the game. Some of these beefs could have ended in the worst way, no lie. And yet, 50 always comes out on top like a champ.
Boo Boo, I'm not even calling 50. 50 was a street that basically set the street shit, but was still involved in the street shit and started rapping. You understand what I'm saying?
Now rewind to March 24th, 2000. 50 Cent was stabbed in the back right outside the Hit Factory studio in New York. And why? It all traced back to that infamous war with Ja Rule and Murder Inc., that feud. Legendary. The tension was real, and folks on the streets were choosing sides. And the wild part, people still beefing with 50 to this day.
Big white boys and shit, so I said, oh, that's how y'all giving it up. Y'all niggas ain't tossing me up in here, so I jumped back over the barricade and shit. So I started throwing chairs. I see big dudes on the floor, we throwing big dudes. like, then there was a mini ride running all.
Jay, let's be real, 50 Cent's level of petty, unmatched. Even when Irv Gotti recently passed away, 50 didn't miss a beat. As soon as the news dropped, he went straight to Instagram, posted a pic of himself smoking hookah next to a fake gravestone, and captioned it, "I'm smoking on that Gotti pack. Nah, God bless him. LOL cold-blooded." Then there's Bang'em Smurf, one of 50's original day ones, back when they were still running the streets together. But once 50 made it big, their bond turned real sour.
We've always made early residents. I am not gang. I do not gang bang.
I do not like Rico. I do not like conspiracy. Keep both of those brothers away from me. These laws were designed to bring down the mafia. When you think crime in general, right? And then like when they would run into it, they go, this is it's not the neighborhood stuff. This is the other stuff, right?
By the time Hot 97's Summer Jam rolled around in 2004, that friendship had completely exploded into full-blown hate. While G-Unit was rocking the stage, who shows up front row just to stir the pot? Bang Smurf, Domination, and the whole Silverback Gorilla crew. They didn't come to vibe, they came to taunt. So what did 50 do? He clapped back the only way he knows how, disrespect in style. He and Lloyd Banks started tossing money at them like it was nothing.
Man,
say that again?
Like we was holding this down like he was a boss. Yeah. For real, man. Yeah, like something like he was a boss. Opening doors, pistols, all that. We was the security.
Then 50 took it up a notch and hit Smurf with the ultimate disrespect. He threw water right on him. Total chaos after that. Man, Smurf snapped. He tried to leap over the barricade while his crew started launching chairs at 50 and the whole G-Unit squad. It got wild fast. Even DJ Who Kid, who was spinning that night, said he never expected it to pop off like that. But hey, this is 50 Cent's world. And chaos like this, just another day in the life. And you already know we can't skip over 50's fallout with The Game, one of the most explosive beefs in hip-hop history.
50 was the type of dude, he was outside when he was 12 years old. You know, his mother and father, he didn't have too much knowledge of them. He had knowledge of his mother, but his father.
It all blew up in February 2005 when 50 pulled up to Hot 97 to kick Game out of G-Unit live on air. While chopping it up with Funk Flex, 50 straight up called Game out for being disloyal, said he wasn't riding in any of 50's beefs, and that was a problem. But here's the twist. While 50 was talking that talk in the studio, Game and his crew were outside the building, posted up and ready to throw down.
Do you think your relationship is repairable?
I don't know what really caused it, Biggs. I don't try to patch relationships, friendship. When they fall apart and you have no idea, like, what was the motivation?
It didn't take long before things got violent. Shots rang out, and Game's boy, Kevin Reed, ended up getting hit in the leg. After that, Game decided the beef wasn't worth losing at all, so he backed off. But by then, the damage was done. The scars ran deep, and the bad blood between him and 50 never truly went away.
Walking down this long ass hallway, and I was like, Fresh Light, Impala, and then Dre was walking back in the studio, and he was like, hey, I was like, yeah. And he was like, what's that?
And right after that mess, things took another wild turn, with Jimmy Henchman jumping into the picture. It all started back in 2005 when 50 officially cut The Game from G-Unit live on Hot 97. And guess who was managing Game at the time? Yep, Jimmy Henchman. And he wasn't about to let that slide without a response.
And an associate of Jimmy point blank told me in a conversation that they had him in jail.
Tensions went from 0 to 100 real fast. Words were exchanged, shots were allegedly fired, and the beef between 50 and Henchman turned into something serious.
Against my advice, he prompted the homies to take the stage with him, and he announced to the San Diego crowd something to the effect of, what's wrong with this picture? I'm a New York 100 Crips on stage.
By 2007, it hit a whole new level of messy when Henchman's 14-year-old son reportedly got jumped by G-Unit members Tony Yayo and Lodi Mac. And that moment sparked a whole new storm. Ishkoti. If you know anything about Jimmy Henchman's reputation, then you already know he wasn't about to let that slide. Retaliation came fast and it came heavy. Things hit the boiling point while 50 and Akon were out filming the I'll Still Kill video. According to Tony Yayo, Henchman and his crew pulled up strapped, allegedly ready to wipe out 50 and his entire team on site.
Into a whole bunch of detail. I've told the story plenty times, but him doing that triggered some irritation from the crowd. And one thing led to another, and there were items going back and forth from the crowd to the.
This wasn't just rap beef anymore. It turned into real-life street warfare. After the attack on Henchman's son, both Tony Yayo and Lodi Mac were hit with charges. Yayo got off with community service. But Lodi Mac wasn't so lucky. He did time. And here's where it gets chilling. Just weeks after Lodi Mac got released, he was gunned down. A lot of people believe it was a revenge hit set up by Henchman himself. In March 2015, Jimmy Henchman was found guilty of ordering the hit and was sentenced to life plus 20 years. But this saga didn't end there. In a shocking twist, his conviction was overturned in November 2016, keeping this whole story wild, messy, and unpredictable as ever. And believe it or not, that still wasn't the end of it.
He showed up in the club video shoot. He came, it was like, Suge's outside, Suge's outside. Everybody like, he was running, dropping shit. Like, man, everybody going, I'm in front of the camera like this.
Jimmy Henchman's name got linked to one of the most infamous moments in hip-hop history, the 1994 shooting of Tupac Shakur at Quad Studios in Manhattan. That was the non-fatal hit that many believe kicked off the brutal East Coast versus West Coast war. A beef so deep, it ended with the tragic deaths of both Tupac and Biggie Smalls. And throughout all the rumors, guess whose name kept coming up? Jimmy Henchman. Word on the street is, one of his associates straight up said in jail, yeah, we had him.
On the paperwork, and Henchman and them niggas supposed to come through, and I guess they gun jammed, but we had God on that side, and they backed out on the hit, but we had straps too, and that really was really it.
Then came the shocker. Dexter Isaac, who's doing a life bid on other charges, confessed that he was the one who shot and robbed Tupac that night, and who allegedly paid him, none other than Jimmy Henchman, for just $2,500. Yup, that little. Now the craziest part, through all these wild twists, life-threatening beefs, and near-death moments, 50 Cent still came out on top. That alone is legendary. And that's exactly why 50 Cent's name still rings out in every corner of the game.
But listen, at the end of the day, when the kid got slapped, right? It's all fair and war. You already know what's gonna go.
Yeah.
You know, for anybody who got kids, I understand how the felt.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, my shit got shot up.
But after hearing all this, was Spider Loc really shook by 50? Or was it just a case of business turning ugly real fast? And with all these deadly beefs 50 survived, is that the real reason folks stay quiet when his name comes up? And I want to hear everything you're thinking. So drop your take in the comments below. If you were hooked on this breakdown, smash that like button, hit that subscribe, share it with your crew, and turn on those notifications. Catch you in the next video. It's only getting wilder from here.